Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. And this is a photo printer. This has been on my wish list for quite a while. This is a Lien, I don't know how to say it, photo printer that is a CMYK printer, which means it takes photo paper and a special cartridge, and it runs the print through 5 times, actually. It runs the thing through. It prints yellow and then red and then blue, then black, and then it laminates the picture. So it is essentially the same process. If you go by processed print, if you have your photographs printed, that's what this does. And what comes out of this is a CMYK print, which looks fantastic. This is actually a really, really amazing little printer. I've been wanting one for a while. I take a lot of pictures, and I don't really have a way to share those unless you are part of my Google household and you can go through my albums. There's no record of them. And it's something that I kind of missed. Like when we go to visit Malia's parents, for instance, they have old photo albums that we can thumb through. And I have old photo albums from my childhood that I can thumb through. But I don't have that as a record today. So I wanted to be able to print some of my favorites and then have a way to kind of display those. So Jonathan asked for a while back about the project that was on the bench. The project that was on the bench is a way to display those. And that is a picture frame that looks like this. This would be obviously hanging on a white wall, so it wouldn't have this confusing mess behind it. But this is the idea. This is a riff on the frame that I have. You can't see it anymore, but I made a frame to display the postcards that people used to send in. I'll try to take a picture. I probably won't remember. It's kind of a riff on that. With some other sensibilities. This was a little bit of a collaboration. This is not my original idea, but this is after talking it over with Malia, what she would accept hanging on the wall. This is what we came up with, and it's actually lighted. I put so you can make it look kind of fancy, or just leave it off, and yeah, this was a pretty simple project. It's a quick mitered face frame with some splines. I put splines in these. And then the back frame, it's about 1.5 inches thick. This piece is, well actually, total is probably 2 inches. It's about 1.25 inches. This is just butt joints with some dowels reinforcements. And then all the way on the back, I just put nails every 1 inch so that I could hang these. We bought a whole bunch of different versions of these lights that were leftover Christmas lights. So we bought a bunch of different to try, so we can string these however we like, and we can string extras in here or whatever. But the idea was to hold 12-ish prints, which is what I have in here right now, that could rotate. When I take a new picture that I like, I can take out an old picture and put in a new picture. And then the ones that I take out will go into a book. And then eventually I'll have photo albums that people can look through and go, oh yeah. And I will date these. Currently I don't have any dates. These are just, some of these are just pictures that were given to us because I had them. I haven't picked all of my prints yet. But I'm going to start experimenting with printing more of my pictures and having a way to display those pictures, and maybe some of my favorites will get put into more permanent residency somewhere. But for now, this was the idea, and I'm very happy with it. It's going in our dining room area. It'll just be a little display there, and I think that so it's kind of like I'm not always looking at it, but when I'm cooking, I can see it. When I'm playing games, I can see it. People who come over can see it. But it won't be obnoxious. Some of the stuff in the living room could be, if it's just cluttery in there, it's kind of a mess. It's a little too much. So we kind of move this out of the living room area, but into an equally used part of the house. Well, not equally used, but you get it. If people come over, we use that space more than anything. And they can see all of our pictures, and they can see pictures of us on the cruise, and my daughter, and my castle visit, and my kid playing softball, and going to New York with my child. Yeah, I thought it'd be fun. Thought it was a fun idea. So that is what was sitting on this bench for all that time. And I now just need to pick more pictures. I've discovered that's the hard part. Is finding the pictures that I like the most. The printer is fantastic. I've been printing to it over I'm going to put this down. I've been printing to it over Wi-Fi, so it has a built-in Wi-Fi hotspot. You just connect to it via Wi-Fi and then pick your print and print. Works really, really well. It takes probably a minute per print because, like I said, it runs through 4 times. Maybe less, probably more like 30 seconds, but it's not like you're not cranking these out. It's a little bit pricey, I think, for a 20-pack. So when you buy it, you get the paper and the cartridge as one thing. And I think for 20 prints, it's like $15. So it's less than $1 a print. It's probably cheaper to go to somebody like Walmart and have them print it. But I feel like if I do that, I have to have like a whole album's worth. And this is the intention of this was more like I take a picture. Oh, I like that picture. I'll print it when I get home and I'll hang it. I'll replace one of my other pictures or whatever. So the intention would be to just have this on hand for printing those, couple of pictures a month that I want to preserve somehow. And if I do any sort of like, if I want to make an album out of a trip or whatever, that I would go just bulk order because then you can pay way less than what this costs to run. But for kind of quick on-demand, photo processing, I think this little printer works great. I've had no issues with it, which is fantastic. The funny thing is, I don't know why I say that. Why do people say the funny thing? It's not funny. There's nothing funny about what I'm going to tell you. Why do people say that? It really irritates me. I need to stop saying it. I had a printer exactly like this probably 15 years ago, maybe even 20 years ago. It was a little like Kodak camera, and the printer served as a dock for the camera. And you plugged the camera onto the dock, and then you could choose a picture and print it. And that thing worked great. I don't know. I have no idea what happened to it, but I don't have any more. My ex has all the pictures. I need to get them back and go through them and take some of for myself. But we printed stuff from that, and it turned out fine. Now, I still have those digital pictures. I have them on my computer. They're like, I don't know, 3 megapixel quality. They're like on my computer monitor, they're this big, and if I try to print them, they look horrible. I don't know. I need to find these older pictures from that thing because I feel like when you printed them, they looked fine. These are like, whatever cameras are today, 25 megapixel or whatever. I have no idea how, like, their photo quality. And they look phenomenal. But for whatever reason, those older pictures, I don't remember them. I don't feel like they were bad to look at when we printed them. I felt like they looked great. But on a computer now, they look horrible and pixelated and weird. And that amuses me. So this little guy, though, I can definitely recommend if you're looking for a printer. This thing works great. This little tray is what holds the paper. And it kind of is it's magnetized in place, and then it's a cartridge that protects the paper. When you want to print, you fold it, load it in, and print. And like I said, it basically comes, you can get 20 prints out of a pack, and then you need to order new. Works really well. Frame works really well. Happy about it. That was the project on the bench for a couple weeks. Next project is, I've got 2, and I don't know which one I'm going to do first. I think I'm going to do in-table prototype. I feel like that's going to be my next project just because I already have it designed, laid out. It's just going to be pocket holes made out of pine, slapped together. Like, I feel like it's a 1/2 day project. Like, I'll be able to just come down here and be like, all right, let's make this prototype. And bam, I have a prototype. It'll be a fully functioning prototype, drawer and all. But it's just a prototype, just to see if we're going to live with it and see if we like it, and if I need to make it bigger or longer or taller or whatever, the drawer deeper or something like that. And then once we settle on the final dimensions of the piece, I say that, and it'll probably end up being the permanent thing for a long time. But Once we settle on the final dimensions, then I will make it out of cherry to match everything else in the living room. And then that one can go somewhere else, or Malia's mom can sell it at her store or whatever. It's just going to be a quick little prototype. So, okay. Got any questions? Put them in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends of wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know sounds smart is uniformitarianism. It is a noun meaning the belief that change on Earth takes place slowly, gradually, and at a uniform rate rather than through short, sudden, catastrophic events. The fact that the families of our servants have been with us for so many generations would seem to be proof of uniformitarianism. 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 I would not have thought that had anything to do with the Earth or slow progress. That I would have guessed that was more like just, the idea of being uniform. Like, didn't know it was a belief.